Morning, everybody. So we're back for another exciting episode of painfully tedious metalwork. So let's see how far we can get on this episode.
No, you're not bringing home another piece of junk.
All right, so I threw the door on there, just kind of see what it looks like, and we got a little adjusting to do. It needs to go forward a little bit, but it fits pretty decent. I do need to put some kind of stop under this door because, you know, you got your ledge here that this lip goes against. Well, now I've got a lip on the bottom, but I really don't have any kind of ledge here for it to butt up against. So I don't know if I'm gonna do that now or later on down the road, but just food for thought. Something I'll probably eventually have to do or have we permanent air conditioning going on while we're going down the road. But hey, that's all. The clothes was good. That's just part of the build process. Body lines are good. That's looking good. Okay, so next order of business, let's put another patch in here and sand all the way back to here. I don't know if I need to show that patch. We just showed how we did it there. We'll do that, and then we're gonna cut this dude out. We'll probably show that. We'll flatten that out, and I went ahead and took the tail lights off of this thing, just kind of get an idea of what this looks like. So we're kind of flat here, and then we flare out, and I want this to be rounded like this. So we're gonna have to kind of cut. I think we'll slice it here, and then we'll slice it in here somewhere and get this all to lay nice and flat and smooth. I still don't know what taillights are going in this thing. Been looking on eBay at different ones, and found some Mercury ones. They're like 66 Merc. Had a pretty good price on them, and they're like a triangle. You got a little short edge up here, and then you got a longer edge down here, and they're like this. Those might look kind of cool in there. But and then I thought about like the late 50s Chevy taillights that are kind of you know, they're a rectangle, not exactly square. You know, they kind of bulge out in the middle. I thought those might look good, but just something other than this great big massive taillight. I don't want it to look like the back of this to look like a Chevy conversion van that had the top whacked off, even though that's what it is. So okay, let's get this let's get down into here, and then we'll take a look and see what we got to do with this. And I think also on this video we're going to make this piece up here. So good stuff to come. Let's get this done, and then we'll take another look. All right, got the second one in there, and it went just as nice as the first, and feels pretty good. I got a little bit of a dip there. We might have to mess with it. Maybe pull out, push out. Nope. Yeah, we'll deal with that later. Anyway, I think before we go on and do this, I think we want to go ahead and finish this top rail, because I want to get some stability up here before I start cutting this and cutting this. So got an idea how I'm going to do that. Let's take a look at that in just a second. Okay, so I cut this piece out of some plate. This is it might be 1/8 inch. It's pretty thick. So this is going to go like this, up a little bit, obviously. So it fits pretty good. I think you know, it's going to cap that rail. What we need to do is put some sides on this thing. I'm not going to make the whole thing. Not going to worry about making it square. I'm just going to put some sides on it, leave the bottom open. So I need an edge to weld to there. So really all I need is a strip about yay wide just to wrap the whole outside of this thing, and I'll weld it to that, and then we can tack along here and tack along there, and then we can make the inside piece. So let me see if I can find a strip that's already cut for that, or if I gotta cut something for that, and we'll strip this paint off there. We'll get that tacked on there, and then we'll take a look at what we got. Okay, so we've got this piece in, and that really took the flex out of that panel. Stiffened it up. So it's a little wide in here. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of trimming in there. I got kind of a nice curve going here. I'm gonna have to kind of get that curve going in here, and I'm gonna need a little filler on the ends here, but yeah, come out good. So I'm gonna make a like I said, just make an inside plate for this. It's gonna come down about that far and just go all the way along here. So I think that's gonna look good. And we're looking pretty flat in there, so I can deal with that. Okay, so let's see what we're gonna do next. I think I'm gonna do a little measuring on this and probably thin this down. I want to make sure that all through here I'm the same width as what I am here, and this has got kind of a roll to it. It's not a sharp edge, so I kind of butted those together and 40 or 90 that, I guess, and left that gap and welded that gap so I can round this off to look like this. So I'm going to take some shaping and that to get in there. So I'll probably mess with this a little bit more, get it a little better, and then while I'm tacking more in there, we'll tack some more on these, and we'll just kind of keep on working this and get some more of this paint off here. So let's work on this a little bit more and see what we got. Okay, so I got this rail trimmed down to match that one. We got it welded in here, got it welded around here. So that's looking good. Went in and cut the parking light out of here. So we're gonna get rid of that. And we're gonna get rid of this tail light. I gotta get rid of this hump here. It kind of flares out here, flares out here. So, and then you get back in here and it's pretty smooth. It starts to transition right in here somewhere. So I'll figure out exactly how I'm gonna do that, because we're flat there. I guess we're gonna cut along in here somewhere and just try and make a piece to go around there and match up with this and match up with this. We'll just close this thing in solid, and then I will figure out how we're gonna, what tail light and how we're gonna put it in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a patch tacked in here. We'll just make it a little bit bigger, go all the way around, do a cut and butt to get that in there, and then once we get that, maybe we'll trim this out, and we'll probably end it there for tonight. Maybe tomorrow night we'll pick up on doing some more of that. I want to go ahead and get that done, and then we'll get all this paint off here, and we'll get this bumper off here. So I got a little patch to do there where the hinge used to be. But we're coming along. It's looking good. This went much faster than I thought it was going to. And my pattern for that side fits this side pretty good. So did a decent job of cutting both sides the same. All right, let me get a patch put in there, and we'll take another look. All right, so we got a patch welded on that, and like I said, we'll just do a cut and butt along that, get that in there nice. I used another piece of that door because it kind of already had that curve to it, so I didn't have to shape a piece of flat metal. And I was looking at the sticker on the back here. It says, "Member Custom Van Conversion something." It's really a custom van now. All right, so that's it. That's going to be it for tonight, and we'll pick this back up. Maybe tomorrow night I'll get back out here and do some more. We'll work on this some more, but I'm hoping my goal by time we end this video on Saturday probably is pretty much have all of this done and the bumper off. And then I think the next place we'll go after that is up there, and at least do half of that. That's a lot of welding up there, and I still got to do the roof. So yeah, get half of the truck done right down the middle. And then I don't know if I'm gonna take a break from all this body work, and maybe we'll blow that engine apart and see what it looks like, just to mix it up a little bit. But I want to get this done around here anyway. So okay, we'll pick this back up tomorrow. Okay, so anybody who watches Fitzy's videos knows the old cut and butt technique, and I know a lot of guys use it on YouTube, and I've showed it a few times on here, but it's been a while, so just gonna kind of record a little bit of it, go through it again, show you how it's done. Like I said, it's there's lots of videos on how to do it, but why not? I've been just showing a lot of before and after here. Let's show some actual work. So basically what I did is, let me go around here. I welded this patch, and I'm overlaid about, I don't know, 1/2 inch to 1 inch all the way around the actual hole. And I just tacked that on there to hold it in place. So, turn the welder on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut through both layers of metal. And I've done 2 different ways and seen it done 2 different ways. One is cutting straight, and one is cutting on an angle that way. And the angle seems to give you, and then you push the 2 layers together. I think the angle does a little bit better. So let's try this and see what it looks like. See, it went through both layers there. Now I got a little piece of this top layer here. Let's knock that off. Make sure you got gloves on when you run your hand across that thing, or you'll end up with your finger laid open. So let me see how close we are here. Let's get a little closer. You can see the gap there. So what we're going to do is we're going to push in this top layer and get it to line up flush with this bottom layer. If you use a wide blade, flat blade, you can kind of push until both sides touch, and then just going to put a spot here. Oops. Now I'm just going to kind of work my way this way a little bit and do the same thing. get that one. Alright, so that's nice and flush all the way around. Now we're just going to work our way around. We'll do another side. Look back here, make sure I'm cutting in the right spot. I'll be on an angle like this. Off of here. Now, get this side flush. A couple of tacks over here. Okay. Now, let's do the bottom edge. Got a little wider than what I wanted to. It's all right. did not stick. Let's get this one again. This last one. Let's see, I want. Actually kind of went in a little bit. But this one we're gonna okay. Get a little wider. I think I had that grinder angled the wrong way down there, but that's what I was looking for. It's nice and flush all the way around. So we might use a little wire filler when we fill that in, but that'll come out looking good. So, all right, so that's how you do it. Once we get that filled in, we'll take another look at it and see how it came out. But I think now what I'm going to do is extricate this tail light housing from this thing. Like I said, I want this nice round curve and this nice round curve to follow in through here. So I want this hump gone. So I got to figure out basically cutting this whole housing out of here. Got to figure out exactly where this stops being smooth and starts changing shape, and figure out where to cut that. So let me turn this off and we'll do some whacking on this thing and see what we got. Alright, so we chopped a big hole in the side of this thing, and I'm going to try to get this to lay over. So I kind of want this edge to match up with this edge and this edge to match up with this edge. But I got a nice curve going on there. And I was looking around at the scrap and it's like, well, where do I got another curve like that? And right there on the edge of that roof. So I cut a roof section off. And I think we're going to be able to take this and patch it in like that, and then fill another piece in over there. So we're going to give that a shot. All right, so let me clean all the paint off of that. I'm going to have to trim it down a little bit, and we're just going to weld that thing on there with the overlap like we did on this piece. and get it up there tight, and then see what cut and butt on that looks like. I think it's going to be okay. 'Cause like I said, we kind of got that curve already started on there. So, all right, let me do that, and we'll take a look. All right, so I got that piece welded in there. It's the same cut and butt on that, and got it laying there pretty good. Got a little bit of a wrinkle right there, but not too bad. I think we can hammer and dolly that out. So now we'll just make another piece to cover up this spot, and we should have it. So let me make that, get that put on there, and then we'll take another look at this. Okay, so we got that piece welded in. It came out good. The curve is nice, and everything's lined up with all the edges. Filled in a little hole down there where the hinge was, knocked a little paint off of it, but rest of the week is pretty much going to be welding all this up, getting it all ground down smooth, and getting all this paint knocked off of it. So not a whole lot to show there. Be pretty boring stuff to watch. So what I'll probably do is work on this the rest of the week, and then today's Wednesday, and we'll show what it looks like when it's done, and maybe get this bumper off here. I'd kind of like to see it without the bumper on it, but we'll see how that goes. So okay, well, we'll pick this up in a couple of days and see what it's looking like. Okay, a little update. Been on this all day. We got the back bumper off. We got quite a bit of the paint off. We've been doing a lot of spot welding. I think I've got this piece just about done, ready to grind. The whole top seams are done, ready to grind. This one I got a dip here, and I think what happened is when they probably used like a Sawzall to cut these windows out, and it stretched the metal, because when I pushed it in there, this just kind of went boom and caved in a little bit. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is cut the bottom of this loose, bug, and like make a slice in here and kind of shrink this a little bit, so it will so it'll lay flat. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do that before I will any more of that in. Still got some more welding around these, just been doing a little bit at a time. But yeah, it's looking good. So we're going to this can be it for today, and I will get back on this tomorrow, and I'm also off Monday. We're going to work on this Monday, so we'll probably at the end of Monday be dropping this video and see how far we got. But it's coming along good. I'm really happy with the way it's looking, and we'll be doing another little update tomorrow. All right, so there we go. That's where we're going to stop. Reasonably happy with how these patches came out. I mean, I got some low spots in there. I could hammer and dolly out. I think I've got a pretty good dip here I need to fix, and I think I need to cut this well loose and put a slice in here and just take some metal out of it, because it kind of like puckered in. I think that thing was stretched, but no, it's looking good, and we are down to one whole side pretty much done. Got the bumper off. So the next thing we're going to do, I do need to make a little backing piece for this. So we'll probably do that before long. But next video, I think what we're going to do is we're going to tackle this. I would like to get at least half of it done. I need to put in a patch where that door handle was, a couple of patches there. Weld all the way around, weld to that beam, grind everything down. I'm going to tape that window off so the glass doesn't get burn marks on it. But and then maybe while I'm up there doing that, we'll do some spots across the roof. So I think I said this earlier, last video, I think I want to get like half of this bodywork done, this metal work, and then I'm going to take a break from the metal work, and we're going to pull that motor apart and see what it looks like. Make a crossover for it, and figure out where it's going to go in there. So, but appreciate everybody coming along. Today's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, all you dads out there. And I am going to go in and enjoy myself, and Cardinals win 2 whole games in a row. Right on. Happy Father's Day, St. Louis. So we'll go inside, we'll get a word from the Lord, and that's going to be it. Hey everybody, thanks for following along today. And that video took several days to get together, but I'm pretty happy where we ended up. So like I said, next one we're going to start on the split windows up there. It's kind of like a classic split window vet, isn't it? So we're going to get some of that done up there, and like I said, try to get half this bodywork done, and then jump over and do the motor and do something a little bit different. I got some welding burnout going. So anyway, message for today. So today is Father's Day, which is a pretty special day to me. Not only do I have a couple of adult kids of my own that I love very much, I have 2 stepchildren that I love very much. And the Lord was very gracious to me to be able to be a dad, and to be able to be a stepdad when I married my wife, and her 2 children did not have a father. He had passed away from a stroke, and so being able to be part of their lives and help raise them has been awesome and pretty cool. And having grandkids, that's a fantastic thing too. But anyway, in the message today at church, we were talking about God our Father, and especially in the book of Deuteronomy, and when the Israelites were wandering in the wilderness, and just the many different aspects of how He had to be a father to them out there. They went through periods of obedience to Him. They went through periods of disobedience to Him. He was faithful to them all the time. He had to be, he had to enact discipline with them, and, in a just way. He had to show strength and show that, he was serious about His word, and there was repercussions not to following that, and that He was sovereign, and that He was in charge. And I'd never heard Deuteronomy preached through before, but our pastor has been doing that the last few weeks, and it has been pretty cool. So, one of the things we talked about that I ran into lately, just on some social media, talking to some non-believers, was one of the hard lessons of the Old Testament is that there were some times in there where God told the Israelites to go in and take over some land, and to actually destroy all the occupants, and that was men, women, children, animals, everything, and just to take very little from them, just sustenance to move them on, and that He had given the Israelites these lands. And that's a tough lesson, especially nowadays, that, why would God ask to destroy entire societies? And one of the verses to that section was Romans 6:23, and I just pulled that one up. And it says, "For the wages of sin is death, but the free gift of God is eternal life in Christ Jesus our Lord." So if we're not, the societies that God had the Israelites destroy were godless societies, and they were already dead in their sin. They being non-believers and in a godless society. They were not going to heaven when they passed, and just as God did with all the people on the earth with the time of Noah, he wiped them out, and it seems pretty harsh, but it's that's how harsh sin is without the redemption of God. It's a death sentence, whether we're here on earth just waiting to pass, and then pass into the death sentence, or whether we, we die and we pass into it. And as dads and grandpas, it is so important to us to pass on that somber part of that message, that seriousness of that message, that God does love you, but He is a just God, and if you're going to reject Him, that's what's going to happen to you. And that's in today's society, you don't hear that message very much. When I was going to church when I was younger, we talked about that more, but now it's you don't hear that message preached very much. But the message is the same, and we really need to let people know that there's serious repercussions to unbelief and to rejecting God. But He wants more than anything for you to be with Him. He sent His Son to die for you, to pay for our sin, and down to the last minute of your life, He is standing there, arms out, ready to accept you, just like with the thief on the cross. Only minutes of life left, and God accepted him into the kingdom of heaven. But once you pass, if you haven't accepted Him, it's too late. And our kids need to know that, and our grandkids need to know that. So tough message, but a good message, I think, especially here on Father's Day. That our Father is just and strong and sovereign and faithful, and we need to take that seriously. So, anyway, let's have a quick word of prayer, and that will be it for this one. Father, I thank You for the gift of being a dad and a stepdad and a grandfather and a husband, and I just ask that You would use me on a daily basis to show who You are to my family and to others. And I just pray for everyone who watches this channel, whether it's other guys or women, that just we take Your message seriously, and that our main goal in life is to get that message out there, that we are here to preach the word and to guide as many people as we can to You while we're here on this earth, and just help that to be number one in our lives. And we thank You for the sacrifice of Your Son, and amen. Okay, so make sure you hit like, you hit subscribe. Pull your Bible out this week and start reading through Deuteronomy. And see what the Israelites went through. It's good stuff. And we'll catch you on the next one.